All right, so there's been a huge shakeup in Washington that, frankly, nobody really saw coming. The head of the nation's law enforcement was just abruptly fired. We're going to break down what's going on at the Department of Justice and, what it all means.
And here's the headline, plain and simple. The Attorney General of the United States has been fired, just like that. A decision like this isn't just about changing who's in the top spot. It immediately raises all these questions about power, politics, and where the Justice Department is headed next. So let's get into what we know.
So what exactly happened here? Well, in a pretty sudden move, President Donald Trump removed Pam Bondi from her job as Attorney General. And this wasn't just some standard personnel change. This signals a really significant and immediate shift in direction for the administration.
Okay, so here are the core facts, the stuff we know for sure. Pam Bondi is out as Attorney General. Todd Blanche is in as the acting AG. That simple switch immediately puts the administration's entire legal strategy and all the political tension around it right under the microscope. To really get what's happening here, we need to look at the two key people at the center of this whole thing: the Attorney General who's out, and the guy who's stepping in to replace her.
And this slide really gets to the heart of it. On one side, you've got Pam Bondi. Her time in office was marked by both really strong support and some incredibly fierce criticism. And on the other side, you have Todd Blanche, who's stepping in with this label already attached to him by critics, Trump's fixer. So while Bondi says she's still fighting for the team, it's Blanche who's now running the entire Justice Department. As you can probably guess, the reaction to this news was instant, and it was completely split right down the middle. We're talking about a full-blown political firestorm erupting, with people from all sides jumping in with their take.
From one side, the criticism came in hot and heavy. Congressman Jamie Raskin did not hold back at all, calling Bondi's time as Attorney General, and I quote, plainly a disaster.
But then, almost right away, we heard from Pam Bondi herself, and in her public statement right after the firing, she made it crystal clear where her loyalty still lies, saying, "I will continue fighting for Trump and this admin."
And that criticism didn't stop there. Congressman Robert Garcia labeled her the most corrupt AG in history and flat out said he was glad she was gone. That really gives you a sense of the deep opposition she was facing.
But then, you get this total whiplash. Because in stark contrast to all that, President Trump's public statement was super simple and supportive. "We love Pam." That contrast between disaster and love, it just perfectly captures how polarized this all is.
And the controversy didn't just end with Bondi. All eyes quickly turned to her replacement, Todd Blanche. Critics were immediately alarmed, with one prominent voice calling his appointment terrifying and pointing right back to that reputation as Trump's fixer.
So all of this brings us to the million-dollar question, right? Why? Why did this happen right now? The reactions are one thing, but the reasoning behind firing such a high-level official is what everyone is trying to piece together.
Seriously, what exactly led to this firing? I mean, the administration isn't exactly handing out a detailed press release on this. But man, the rumor mill in Washington is churning with all sorts of theories about what was at play here. So let's look at some of the theories that are floating around. And just to be clear, these are the unconfirmed reports being talked about. Was it dissatisfaction over so-called revenge prosecutions that didn't pan out? Or maybe some serious internal drama over how the Epstein case was being handled? There are even these pretty serious allegations that Bondi was leaking information. That last one, by the way, was denied with a counteraccusation that the president is just, quote, seeing ghosts.
Okay, so with all of that swirling around, where does this leave the Department of Justice? What does this leadership change actually mean for the future of law enforcement in the country?
Look, whatever the real reason for the firing was, the result is the same. This is a major strategic shift. You don't bring in a new acting attorney general, especially not someone with Todd Blanche's specific reputation, unless you're planning on changing the entire game plan.
And that leaves us right here with this one big, open-ended question. Is this the start of a brand new, maybe more aggressive, chapter for the Justice Department? Or are we just watching a political crisis get a whole lot deeper? Definitely something to think about.